A lot of people don't understand it, but for those who love horror movies, there is nothing like being scared out of your mind. But have you noticed today's scary movies are more about blood, guts, and gore? Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho is one of the most memorable horror movies of all time. That black and white film with very little actual bloody scenes is tame compared to today's Saw series, which is actually full of graphic torture and sexual violence. So, why does all this matter? Well, some experts say those graphic scenes may be desensitizing tweens to violence and also increasing anxiety. Tampa Bay Parenting Magazine editor Angela Ardolino is here now to tell us what kind of conversations that we can have with our kids about these types of movies and kind of relieve some of the anxiety. First of all, you say just have a conversation with your kids and ask them, how does the violence make you feel? Does it make you feel frightened, nervous, anxious? Just talk to them about it.
It is. It is just that easy just to have a conversation with them, because you don't know what's going through their mind when they see something like that. And you must have it. Even if you don't allow them to watch these types of movies, you never know when they're going to end up at someone's house or a friend's house or something, and they either find something on the internet or they actually watch the movie. You're going to want to have a conversation with your child before they're put in that situation where they see an awful movie like Saw or something like that. It does. It causes aggression, it causes anxiety, it causes fear. There's a lot of things that they don't understand, and even though it's uncomfortable for us as parents to talk about sex and violence and those types of things, it does wonders for them if you're able to open that line of communication. It's very interesting. If something appears on your television that's violent and you wish your kid didn't see, that's a perfect moment to say, how do you feel about that? You know, I mean, I look at it and think there's someone who's not happy, or someone who could act out what they just saw on television, and ask them how they feel about it. And do you think it's necessary? And then show them what a real scary movie's like a Poltergeist, or like we said, The Birds, or, you know, Psycho, where there was no gore. It just was, you know, so scary. So it's not like you have to, you know, say no scary movies at all. But you do want to prepare them that there's some bad stuff out there, and how do they feel about it, and do you think it condones violence when they show these types of things? And it's just a good conversation to have with your child so they understand that it's not real, that it's fantasy, and that they don't need to be worried about that that's going to happen to them.
For some parents, though, this can be pretty uncomfortable, because not only do you have to talk about the violence, you also have to bring up the dreaded word sex with your kids.
You do, and unfortunately in these types of movies, if you've got a girl, there's also sexual violence, there's sexual against the girls, you know, and then, you know, if a boy is maybe, a male is committing the violence, it's very important for you to have a conversation and say, this is not reality. This is fantasy. This is a movie that's just going all out for whatever sake, you know, to get more people to see the movie, or those types of things. But it's very important for you to say, that's not how a relationship is supposed to be. That's not how sex is supposed to be, and those types of things. So uncomfortable, but the more you do it, the more comfortable you get. And when they see that you're making such an effort to talk about these things that we don't like, they're really going to start opening up, and the next thing you know, they'll start asking you questions, which makes it so much easier to deal with. Yeah. You know, and they see something, well, I'm not comfortable with that. What was that? Or,
and then they'll come to your parent first, because they've had those conversations.
And start it when they're tweens.
Yeah.
So by the time they're teenagers, they're talking to you about it on a regular basis.
And then by then, when they're teenagers, the parents are pros too.
That's right. That's right.
Always good advice. Thanks. And Angela will be back with us next week. We'll talk about the value of, talk about learning the value of a virtual dollar. Well, I can't wait to hear that one. And if you missed any of the points that Angela just talked about, or you want to share the information with another parent, just go to our website, abcactionnews.com. You can also find help with a variety of parenting issues on the Tampa Bay Parenting website, tvparenting.com. And while you're there, you can sign up for a subscription to Tampa Bay Parenting Magazine.